Hey, all right, we are back. Day, I don't know what it is. It's been a couple days off. Updates, super exciting. Bummer turned excitement. We'll get to the full kind of vision that wanted to do and kind of been laying out in this series of building LEOM, this entry to the Future Vision XPRIZE competition, um, where I was going to do real, you see these suits, real performance capture of actors on a green screen in certain costume design, cool costumes, best I could do. Um, we got a number of fabrics and cool harnesses to kind of encapsulate the mechanic jetpacking vibe of the story with 3D prints for kind of that detail and sci-fi look. But uh, Turns out directing a project with on green screen with insurances and the proper the stunts and all the lighting and everything. It's freaking tough, and it just it ballooned a little too much than what I was comfortable with in terms of pricing and just for what I knew I was about to get into to get that I was going to get out of it in terms of what's in my head and actually translating that and getting a quality output. In terms of like even the actors and um, the just overall what those assets that I was going that would be sunk costs after this. The costumes are really cool, but they're not quite what not quite it all the way, which to be expected. Come on, they're good, but it's the things that I was thinking of is you know a, I'm referencing are pictures from movies, crazy productions, TV shows that have a wild budget team, actual professionals who do this behind it, and you know, just it was just a call that was made, and to delay that process, and I'm still making this story will be told, and the vision kind of will be told, um, regardless of if it's in time for the Future Vision X Prize film competition trailer submission. And it just felt a little rushed. So we are going the full generative route, kind of outlined in the what was it day 9 through the couple chunk day of it was called the pivot that video in which I voiced this and where we're talking about the eye test and would it pass, and doubts were creeping in as the shoot date was approaching, and I opted for, instead of just one route, we're also going to push along two other routes that are unlike the first route, in that they would be totally generative, and one being photoreal and one being more stylized animated. And um, you know, I just so wanted to do the composited and have that real world feel to get past the uncanny valley of the model's limitations right now in terms of just capturing a person, and that that is just it's not there totally. But at the end of the day, this is a competition. It's a proof of concept, and it doesn't need to be perfect. And so we're doing the generative route. It's still awesome stuff. It's still gonna work as a great proof of concept and a great effort. I learned a lot in the kind of in the directing a team, a crew of all these different people, all these pros. Like I'm talking pros. Um, in Arizona and LA areas. And but we're gonna do generative, and we're well, along the way now. In previous videos, trailer outlines a certain kind of aesthetic, and that was kind of like the working template to go off of. Shot list was in place, and it has evolved and changed a bit as I'm able to just do more and more, tightly have my hands on the steers of all the levers to pull when it's a one man process here of the generative, and I can tweak, and I can you know make the thing right here at my desk. And yeah, so the proof of concept, I got a couple days here to get this thing submitted. This is like high school vibes of, not procrastinating, but allocated a certain time. It was supposed to be submit. My goal was to have it submitted this you know this weekend. Certain people had to drop out of the project, and that pushed the production back. And then it's okay, no production on the actual live um, kind of approach, and now it's generative. And now these days have stacked up to be, I'm getting it in. I'm gonna get it in at the deadline. And high school vibes here, but it's all good because it's been an awesome learning project process. But yeah, this is just a quick update video. Again, I laid it out in the pivot of like embracing, also doing a couple generative approaches, and just deciding what of those three was going to work best for the actual submission. But now it's down to two, and it's fully generative. And the difference between three approaches to two approaches that are much more, the two are very much in parallel, is so much moving very quick on it. So optimistic outlook here as the submission's going in. But yeah, excited to share more in the process. Check out the live stream that I just did. It's been a while since I've done the live streams. The live streams have been reserved for until this point. I was only doing live streams, and when I say this point of this sprint for this competition and getting my proof of concept for LEOM, the film, done, it was all live streams because I didn't have to edit anything. There was less structure. It was more so fire up the camera, the OBS, and just have the screen on. I'm in my IDE, and it's getting after it, working on a number of different things, or some semblance of talking, kind of storyline, or going through certain topics. And this has been posting more. So I haven't done a live stream in a while, but did a quick live stream there, kind of getting back to the coding side of things. As you can imagine, that this is it's much more contained. The project is now from a generated approach. So kind of outlined Wabbit, talked about before on the live streams, kind of the use cases for LEOM. So you can go check that out. But yeah, check out the coming days here up to the deadline. I want to be posting for it. It's been a little gap, but at the same time, it is crunch time, so I do just have to get it done. So taking a couple minutes here to kind of I guess even just set expectations of how the series will continue. A couple more days here, a couple more videos, or maybe I continue. I could totally see the sprint and the series going a couple days or weeks past the deadline, leading up to I'm already going to the moonshots live, in which all this is happening in LA, because I just want to see, even if I'm not a finalist, I want to be a finalist, but just to see the talent, meet people, network, all that good stuff. And that's the 25th of September. if I've not shouted it out on one of these sprint videos, and or this is the first video you've seen, you should really check out the Moonshots with Peter Diamandis podcast. That's how I heard about it. He puts on the X Prize, he puts on everything, but they do 2-3 videos a week, and it's a great way to stay up to date with if you're checking out the live streams, and more so into the coding side of everything. They talk very technically on a lot of those developments at the frontier in terms of capability and all that good stuff. So yeah, just a quick one. I could see the series going longer, but these next couple days here, it might be a little, again, it might be more sporadic, as I try to get the thing done. High school vibes, due date. But just an update, the pivot has now fully commenced. We've done the complete 180. It was a 90-degree pivot on the other day. Was it 9 through 13? But the pivot is now 180. It is fully commenced, and that's what it's going to be for the submission. And it's a proof of concept, so it doesn't have to be perfect. The story is what's great. Learning the tools and the experience is what's great. And that's all I got for today. But all good stuff, and stay tuned for coming videos.